Empire Magazine features Batman vs. Superman in their latest issue, and a lot of details have emerged from it, mostly focusing on details of Batman himself. First off, Ben Affleck talks about the new incarnation of the Dark Knight, saying the following. Initially, I thought, I'm older, it doesn't seem like the right sort of fit for me. Then Zack pitched me this concept of this older, more broken, kind of effed up Batman. It was something we haven't seen. We have seen that Batman is willing to cross the line to protect people. That vigilantism has been a part of his character all along, and we are tapping into that mentality when faced by something as potentially as deadly as Superman. Then director of Batman vs. Superman, Zack Snyder, added the following. We are playing him 45 or 46. He has been Batman for 20 years. All the history is there. Was there a Robin at one point? Possibly. We want to assume that Batman has reached this point in his life and career as a superhero, and Superman represents a sort of philosophical change. He is a paradigm shift for Batman. I've been fighting criminals all my life, trying to find justice, and now I am confronted with a concept that is transcendent to me. In the face of Superman, a man robbing a bank doesn't matter. He's having a crisis of conscience. Am I really just a vigilante who stalks the alleys of Gotham? It is rich stuff that he deals with. Ben does an amazing job. A few other tidbits are added in the article, including the notion that Aquaman will have a very small role in the film, and that in the Suicide Squad, Batman is the one who put all the members behind bars in the first place. Mark, what do you think about the comments we heard in this feature?
Thank you, Ashley. That'll be all.
You're welcome.
You can take 5. That was incredible. Well done. I love everything about these comments. What stuck out to me the most is there a Robin at one point? Possibly. Yeah, there's going to have been a Robin at some point, is how I read that. The overall tone of what this Batman is going to bring to the table is so exciting to me, and a lot of it is stuff that we could have inferred from watching this latest trailer. It actually just, it proves on top of that this is a Batman who is not only threatened by the presence of Superman from a fear standpoint, where he's like, oh man, who is this guy? It's also like, you know, I've been patrolling Gotham, and this guy makes me look like a mall cop. I mean, this guy makes me look like I'm next to nothing in the superhero realm, and that is gonna, is somebody's ego, like Bruce Wayne, that is gonna infiltrate somehow when you put all of that into a middle-aged guy who's trying to get back into fighting shape and crime fighting shape. It's such an exciting premise, and Ben Affleck hit it on the head. He's like, we've seen these other Batmans before, we've never seen a Batman like this before. I am so excited to see this movie now. Every comment that I hear coming out of this project, even the stuff about Aquaman, who's going to have a small role in there, which I like. Pop him in there. Don't let him have too much to do. I would feel the same way about Wonder Woman as well. I'm not sure how much Gal Gadot is actually going to be in this movie. She was in the trailer a lot, maybe too much for my liking. We'll see how the movie plays out. But right now, I can't wait to see this Batman.
It's like the thing that the Christian Bale Batman, we all got so excited about, because for the first time they hinted at these aspects of Batman that we've been wanting to see forever. And now we're getting the Batman we've always wanted to see forever, for a very, very long time. And it is great to hear him talk about, look, he's broken, he's damaged goods, man. If you've been a Batman for 20 years, some wires are going to snap at some point. But I love the whole discussion they're having about this philosophical change. Batman is a guy who's been roaming the streets and trying to protect the streets of Gotham. Superman shows up, and for everybody else on the planet as well, it reconfigures your notion of reality. Like, he's always been thinking about protecting the streets of Gotham. Now suddenly he's thinking about things on a global scale. He's thinking, now Batman for the first time is forced to think about things as humanity as a race and protecting that. And we hear that line in the trailers, like, this dude has the power to eliminate the human race. He's got to be destroyed. I mean, so he's having now to think in a totally different way than he's ever thought about before. I was also very excited about the Aquaman comments, because I think Zack Snyder says, you'll be aware of his existence. Mm-hmm. So that tells me super small role, which I'm very excited about. We've said this before, I think the Wonder Woman role will be small. I hope that's the case, because I want Batman versus Superman to be about Batman versus Superman. Is that too much to ask? So sure, give us a little introductions to a few of these other characters. That's cool. Set it up for the next movie. That's great. But can we please at least keep the lion's share of our focus on the two dudes we've been waiting for 20 years to see on screen, maybe longer for some people. So I love everything I'm hearing about this. And I've said this before about Batman versus Superman. You can aim for the right thing and still mess it up and make it a terrible movie. But damn it, at least start by aiming for the right thing. And it looks like to me like these guys are aiming for the right stuff. Christian?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I love these comments. And let's not make any mistake about it, that Batman is the key for the survival of this movie. Because even though Superman may, and I know, Mark, probably you want to see him developed a little more.
I want to see him talk, yeah.
Fine, but he was developed in Man of Steel for me, and I think that, we know who he is in this universe. The last vision we have of Batman is Christian Bale, and that's clearly not the Batman that's in. Now, there might be elements of that type of Batman in this one, but Batman was always damaged, though. He was damaged from when he started.
Yes, he
but so when
he saw his parents shot.
Yeah,
in front of him,
the reason he started is because he's a little cracked on the inside. Now, a cracked 25-year-old Batman is one thing, but a cracked 45-year-old Batman, after doing this for so many years and then coming back to it and referencing that Robin might have survived, and we'd see in the trailer with the Robin suit that also had an effect on him as well too. This dude has been beaten down, and now he looks up, he sees in the sky Metropolis is crashing down, and he blames Superman for it. It probably goes back and references the things that he had with his parents as well too. It probably brings that to it. And I think Ben Affleck, and it's funny, and I totally admit it, that when the announcement came out that Ben Affleck was Batman, was not a fan of it. I have changed a total 180 because I think this is the guy that can go through those types of emotions and portray this type of Batman that Snyder and Affleck are talking about here. And I also think that because of what Ben Affleck has been able to do lately with his director's hat on, Ben Affleck is really good at developing character and story.
Oh, yes, he is.
He is, I mean, getting to the point where we were referring to him as one of the masters already, if it could possibly happen. And there's a reason for that, because I think he's sitting down with Zack Snyder and said, well, what if this? What about that? Because when I do my standalone film and I direct that, I want it to continue on from the arc that we're building here. So yeah, I love these comments. I think it's smart. And I think Zack Snyder needs a guy like Ben Affleck to help him, because everyone's biggest criticism of Snyder, whether you love him or hate him, has been, it's a little visual. I'd like to see a little more. I think Affleck is that guy to bring that to Batman.
And one of the exciting things about it, because of Ben Affleck, you're pointing out, is that Zack Snyder is pretty much known as a very collaborative filmmaker. He loves to really incorporate the people around him, the talent around him, in helping assess direction. Now, he's ultimately the final say guy, but it's really that thinking about him, who I think he is a very talented director on his own, bringing in a guy like Ben Affleck, who might be one of the best, if not the best, up-and-coming directors in the business right now. And there's a lot of those shots in that Empire Star. You see Zack and Ben in the Batman suit standing around monitors. Like, you just feel it, right?
So I mean, those comments that Ashley just read, that sounds like a conversation that they had early on in the filmmaking process, just between boys, and now we all get to hear it. And it seems like everything that we as fans, like John said, is what we've seen the young Batman. We've seen that broken 25-year-old. Let's see the broken middle-aged guy.
Well, you bring up a great point, you guys, too, as far as like, because Snyder's not just working with a top star actor now. He's working with one of his peers.
Right.
And that's big. Like, if I'm Zack Snyder, I'm going, yeah, look at this guy. His film just won an Oscar. Too. So yeah, I want to talk to him as much as I can to make myself as a filmmaker better.
Yeah. Hey Ben, so when you're making Argo, would you have done this shot?
Yeah,
like
that's,
every shot
yeah,
like
that's where it comes.